Hey everyone, welcome back to Your English Podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Lana, and we are so happy you're here today.
We really are. Today's topic is one of my favorites, honestly.
Oh, same. We're going to talk about first impressions. You know, that feeling you get when you meet someone for the very first time?
And we're going to talk about how to describe people in English. Like, how do you say someone is kind or a little difficult?
A little difficult. That's a very polite way to say it, Mike.
I try. Okay, but before we start, if you are new here, hello, welcome. This podcast is for people who are learning English. We talk about everyday topics, we use simple and natural English, and we just have fun.
Exactly. And if you're already a regular listener, thank you so much. You are the best. Seriously.
The absolute best. Okay, Lena, let's get into it. First impressions. Where do we even start?
Let's start with the big question. Do you trust your first impressions?
Oh, that is a good question. So, Lana, do you trust your first impressions of people?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I think I'm quite good at reading people, but I've definitely been wrong before.
Me too. I remember one time, this was maybe 5 years ago, I met a woman at a work event, and my first impression, I thought she was really cold, like unfriendly.
Oh, really? Why did you think that?
She didn't smile much. She was very quiet. She didn't make eye contact. And I thought, okay, she doesn't want to talk to me.
And was she actually cold?
Not at all. She was just really shy, and once we started talking properly, she was one of the most interesting and warm people I've ever met.
Oh, that's lovely. So your first impression was completely wrong.
Completely wrong. And I almost didn't talk to her because of it, which would have been a shame.
I think that happens a lot, actually. We sometimes confuse shy with unfriendly. They look similar from the outside, but they're very different.
Exactly. So what about you? Have you ever had a wrong first impression?
Oh, where do I begin? Okay, so when I first met my neighbor, my first impression was that she was the most cheerful, friendly, open person I'd ever seen. She waved at me, she smiled at me, she said, "We should have coffee sometime."
That sounds amazing.
It sounded amazing, but 6 months later, I'm still waiting for that coffee.
Oh no. So she was friendly on the surface, but maybe not so...
She wasn't sincere. She was what I call a surface-friendly person. They seem warm at first, but there's nothing deeper there.
Oh, surface friendly. I love that. That's a great way to describe someone. So let's talk a bit about the language here. When you describe someone, you want to use adjectives, describing words. And today we're going to learn some really useful ones.
Yes, and the great thing is, these adjectives come up all the time in real conversations, so they're super practical.
Okay, so let's do this in a fun way. Lana, I'm going to describe a person, just a few sentences, and you try to guess the right adjective. Deal?
Deal. I'm ready.
Okay, this person always smiles. They ask you questions about your life. They remember your birthday. When you have a bad day, they notice and ask if you're okay. What are they?
Oh, that's easy. They're warm or kind or caring.
All correct. Warm, kind, caring, these all work. What's the difference between them?
I think warm is more about the feeling they give you, like you feel comfortable around them. Kind is more about their actions. They do nice things for you. And caring is about attention. They pay attention to how you feel.
That's a brilliant explanation. Okay, next one. This person talks a lot. They love to share their opinions. They're never bored at parties.
Oh, outgoing, or talkative, or sociable?
Yes, and are those words positive or negative?
Mostly positive. Outgoing and sociable are very positive. Talkative can be positive or a little bit of a complaint.
Right, like she's very talkative could mean I love talking to her, or it could mean she never stops talking and I can't get a word in.
Context is everything in English.
Always. Okay, next one. This person is never late. They always do what they say they will do. You can always count on them.
Reliable, dependable, trustworthy.
Perfect. And are there any negative adjectives that are the opposite of these?
Yes, unreliable, someone you can't count on. And flaky, oh, this is a great informal word. It means someone who cancels plans a lot or forgets things or doesn't follow through.
Flaky. I love that word. You know, I had a friend who was so flaky. We would make plans and then 1 hour before, every single time, he would cancel.
Oh, I know that type. Something came up. That's always the excuse.
Hey, sorry, something came up. Yeah, it gets old very quickly.
It really does. Okay, what's next?
Okay, this one is a bit more complex. This person thinks they know more than everyone else. They don't listen to other people's ideas. They interrupt a lot.
Arrogant. Or maybe a softer word. Confident? No, wait. Confident is positive.
Right, and this is actually a really important difference. Can you explain it?
Yes, confident means you believe in yourself, but you still respect other people. Arrogant means you think you're better than other people. One is healthy and good, the other is not so great to be around.
Perfectly said. And there's also self-assured, which is like confident, but maybe a little calmer, more quiet about it.
Ooh, I like self-assured. That feels like a very elegant word.
Okay, I want to hear more of your stories, Lana. Tell me about someone who surprised you. Someone whose personality was completely different from what you expected.
Oh, yes, I have a perfect one. So a few years ago, I started a new job, and on my first day, I met my new manager. And my very first impression of him was that he was incredibly strict, very serious, no jokes, all business.
Oh, that sounds a bit scary on the first day.
It was. I was so nervous. He seemed quite cold, like he had very high standards and he wasn't going to be patient with mistakes.
And was he?
Well, he did have high standards. That part was true. But the cold part? Completely wrong. He was one of the most encouraging people I've ever worked with. Every time I made a mistake, he would sit with me and say, "Okay, let's figure this out together."
Aw, that's so nice. He was supportive.
Very supportive and patient, and actually quite funny once you got to know him. He had this very dry sense of humor.
Dry sense of humor. Let's explain that for our listeners. What does that mean?
So, a dry sense of humor means someone who says funny things in a very serious, calm way. They don't laugh at their own jokes, they just say something absurd with a straight face, and you have to pay attention or you'll miss it.
I love that type of humor. My dad is like that. He'll say the funniest thing completely deadpan, like zero expression. And if you're not paying attention, you think he's being serious.
Yes, exactly. And then 5 seconds later, you suddenly get the joke and you burst out laughing.
Okay, I want to share one more story before we move on. So, I went to university with a guy. Let's call him Tom. And the moment I saw Tom, I thought, this guy is so confident. He walked in like he owned the room. He talked to everyone. He was loud, funny, popular.
He sounds like the classic life of the party.
That's exactly what he seemed like. But here's the thing. We became good friends. And after a while, he told me that he was actually incredibly anxious in social situations.
Really?
Completely. He said that all the loudness and confidence was kind of a performance. He was actually very insecure underneath it all.
Oh, that's actually quite sad and also very human.
Very human. And it made me think, you really can't always judge a book by its cover.
Oh, I love that expression. Don't judge a book by its cover. meaning don't judge someone just by how they look or seem at first.
Okay, Lana, let's get practical now. If a listener wants to describe someone in English, what are some natural phrases they can use?
Great idea. So first, let's think about how we start these descriptions. In English, we often say things like, she comes across as, or he seems, or my first impression was that she was.
Oh, yes. She comes across as very confident. That means the feeling she gives to other people is confident, even if you don't know her well yet.
Exactly. And we also say, she strikes me as, like, he strikes me as someone who is very driven.
Driven. Another great word. What does it mean?
Driven means very motivated, very focused on reaching their goals, like nothing stops them.
I want to be more driven, honestly. I'm more of a let's see what happens kind of person.
There's nothing wrong with that. That makes you easygoing. Easygoing is a lovely quality. It means you don't get stressed easily. You're relaxed, you go with the flow.
I'll take it. Okay, so we have comes across as, seems, strikes me as, what else?
We also soften things a lot in English. Instead of saying, he is arrogant, which sounds very harsh, we might say, he can come across as a bit arrogant sometimes, or he is a little bit full of himself.
Full of himself. Another great expression.
Full of himself means he thinks about himself too much, he talks about himself a lot, he thinks he's very important. It's informal but very common.
And notice how you softened it. A bit, a little bit, sometimes. These small words make the description sound more polite and natural.
Yes, in English, we very often avoid being too direct when we describe people. We say, she's a bit reserved, rather than she's cold. He's quite chatty, rather than he talks too much. Politeness is important.
Unless you're with very close friends, then you can be a little more honest.
A little more honest. Yes.
Okay, we're getting close to the end of the episode, and I honestly cannot believe how fast this went.
I know, these conversations just fly by. But before we go, let's do a quick summary. What did we learn today?
We talked about first impressions and how they can be right or very wrong. We talked about personality adjectives like warm, reliable, outgoing, arrogant, shy, and sincere. And we talked about natural phrases for describing people in English.
And we shared some personal stories along the way, which is always the most fun part, I think.
Always. Now, here's your challenge for this week. Think of one person in your life, a friend, a colleague, a family member, and try to describe them in English using the words from today, even just 3 or 4 sentences.
You can write it down, say it out loud to yourself, or even leave it in the comments. We love reading your comments. And hey, if you're enjoying the podcast, it would mean the world to us if you subscribed. Just hit that subscribe button. It takes 2 seconds, and it really helps us reach more people who are learning English.
And if this episode helped you or made you laugh or taught you something new, please give it a like or share it with a friend who is also learning English. That is the best gift you can give us, honestly.
The absolute best. It helps so much more than you know.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. You are wonderful, and your English is getting better every single day. Even if you don't feel it yet, trust us, it is.
We believe in you. We'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.